Welcome back at 7:13, and we're learning about what's going on in today's week in history with the Thronatiska Heritage Center. And we thank you so much for being here this morning.
No problem. What we have this week is a couple of fun things. This week, for you husbands, the 16th is Wife Appreciation Day, so make sure that you take care of your wife on that day. And there's a conflict commemorative date this week, the 22nd. It is Fish Amnesty Day, but it is also National Hunting and Fishing Day.
What do you do in that situation?
I don't know. The hunters don't go fishing that day, I guess.
That is so fun.
But we also want to talk about something a little more serious. In our history, the Creek Indians were primarily in Georgia, and this week commemorates the Trail of Tears, which was because of the 1830 Indian Removal Act. All Indian nations, which each kind of Indian, such as the Cherokee was considered an Indian nation, were told that they had to go to a place in the West, which now is Oklahoma. So during the 1831 removal of the Choctaw Indians, there was a great deal of hardship, and there was many deaths. They had to do a lot of walking. There was a great deal of starvation, and thus it was called the Trail of Tears. We have today some examples of our Creek Indians from here in Georgia. This is a picture of a typical Creek Indian home and Creek Indian pictures. Now these are weapons that have been found, or I'm sorry, not all weapons, but these are artifacts that have been found that were attributed to the Creek Indians. They were very intuitive, so they used the same thing for multiple reasons. This could have been used to skin an animal, but it also could have been used to with hand-to-hand combat as a weapon.
Wow.
This is a ceremonial axe.
And now what would you do with something like this?
This was used ceremonially. So when you see in movies and westerns Indians dancing, this would have been carried. It would not have been used in everyday work.
I was going to say, because it looks like it's made, it was weaved and with, is it straw? Or what is that?
It could be straw, it could be grasses. Some of them were actually weaved with the internal parts of animals. Yes, I thought so too. This was used as a wedge, and it was easy to hold on to, and then they would have a club that would hit into a tree to bring a tree down. And then this item, this could be used again for a weapon. It could also be used as an axe. And so they were very, very resourceful in that they would, because it would take a lot to make some of these very sharp and very edged. So they would use it for as many different things as they could.
And now I wonder how long something like that would last, because to me, you hit it the wrong way, the tree part breaks, because I mean, if you can see here that it's kind of like a little fork, and you stick the stone in there, but I wonder how strong something like that is.
These could be very, very strong because they took very good care of them too. They would oil the wood to keep the wood supple, so that way it wouldn't, as we would think, become very brittle and break. Of course, this is stone, so if this wood were to break, they would just use the stone in another implement. But they would use these in gardens. They would use them to make rows, to plant their crops and such. So they were very holistic, what we consider holistic, and that they would use absolutely everything that they had. And they felt that it was God's mission, and God was the sun. So it was their mission, and it was very sinful if they did not use everything that they had. The animals that they would capture or kill, they would absolutely use everything. From the point of even taking the hooves and boiling them down to make glue. And we think glue is, you know, a today thing. Glue is not a today thing.
That is so neat.
But they were very, very resourceful. And even in their homes, they would take and they would build very securely, but then they would take these homes down in many cases and move them to where the animals were. So even though we consider Creek Indians Georgian, There were also some Creek Indians in Alabama. Now, the difference between the Georgian and the Alabama Indians were the Georgian Indians were very peaceful.
Okay.
And they really did a lot for the white man in teaching them. They were very good teachers, teaching them how to do crops and so forth. But because at that time the government felt that they were a threat, they really felt that they needed to move them all together to control what their movements and what they were doing.
Well, thank you for filling us in on all of this and kind of getting a look as it is this week in history of the Trail of Tears, and such neat artifacts to bring in and kind of teach us how resourceful they were. And I think that's a lesson we could all learn, and being able to use some things that we have as well.
Absolutely.
Well, we're going to be back in just a little bit. If you guys want more information, go to heritagecenter.org, and we'll be back with some more of the Heritage Center right after this. Chris, on over to you.